Chief, enough is enough. Anyway, still with me, appellate and trial attorney Matthew Barhoma. And Matthew, how does a case like this resolve? In your mind, we know who the folks are, but how can the police begin to resolve a case like this?
You know, I think they've already done just that. They've gotten the perpetrators or the suspected perpetrators in custody, and now they're taking they're not taking any shortcuts. They are investigating, and they may just very well amend this complaint against them if they find a body. So if a body turns up, these folks could be looking at possible homicide charges or even other kinds of neglect charges. Depending on what comes out from here. But at minimum, what the police have done correctly is they've put the right people in custody while they still can.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We got three folks that I think have information about this little girl. You got the stepmom. She was charged with the welfare fraud, right? So she's benefiting from the fact that no one knows about this little girl, where she is, and the fact that she's been missing for 2 years. You got the dad charged with just an awful assault. And a lot of folks contacted, there's the stepmom. People were calling child services about it, some of the other family members who knew what was going on. Then you have the mom who has drug issues. Now, she's not in custody, but they've located her. And think about this, Matthew. She didn't get custody, so her situation must have been so bad that she couldn't get custody away from the father, who was obviously beating the little girl. So you got those three people. I mean, I would say you just have to lean and lean and lean on all three of them till you get something out of them.
And someone's going to say something. We already see inconsistent statements, right? The dad is saying she got picked up. Other kind of information seems to provide that he indicated that he dropped her off. These inconsistencies, they don't just come about, okay? So something has got to give. And I think in this case, ultimately, putting them in custody as we investigate, especially after a 2-year runway of her being missing, is one of the most ripe things that you could do. And I think that something is going to come. There's a lot of non-sophistication when it comes to this, right? You're hearing about how the dad is abusive, about how he bashed her head, how he treated her and forced her to, utilize her toothbrush to clean toilets. So you could tell a lot of what she's being subjected to. And I think it takes very little to be able to put 2 and 2 together. Now it's a matter of what else could we dig up and whether or not we can find a body. And if we do, you may be looking at a much more serious conviction.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm just getting information. If we can call back in that missing poster that we just saw that we were showing a second ago, I'm understanding that they've actually raised the reward for any information leading to finding, the young girl to $94,000. Now, today, Matthew, they were at the property. It's 2 years later. And here's the biggest, problem with this case, the fact that no one, and, we've talked about this before, how the system has completely, utterly failed, this little girl. It took 2 years for the police to even know that she was missing. They've gone back to the house where she was last seen. My understanding is that new people own the house. So, who knows what you'll find there. But they're also searching the property. We don't have much information yet as to exactly how that's going down. My understanding is there were some land warmers because they want to dig and find. I mean, the worst part would be if you find a little girl in that sense. But your thoughts on now this 2-year gap between starting an investigation like this?
It's definitely going to cloud some of the evidence that could come out of this, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence already. We're hearing about it already. And so there's a lot that we could do, but if we can find anything else, any kind of remnants, anything that could maybe allude to the story, it's going to be much better. Now, because there's new owners, there's definitely changed circumstances around the house, and the investigation is going to have to get that much more sophisticated. They're really going to have to look underground. They're going to have to look behind the walls, but it's something that I'm confident they're going to do. I mean, look, they're even raising the reward for being able to find her, and it appears to me that the system is taking this one very seriously, despite a 2-year delay.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that they're taking it seriously far too late, right? That's the worst thing. And again, I just got word from my producer that the search for today has ended. So we're still in the same place we were when we started the day. But, I understand that this investigation will continue, and it is a priority, and we'll continue to update you as this thing moves forward and continue to hope for the best. All right, Matthew, stand by. We're going to take a break now. When we come back,